8 p.m. Item number 5, adjournment of the special meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Here,
Mr. Montano.
I move that we adjourn the second session. Special.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Montano, second by Mrs. Dillman. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Ayes have it. We adjourn the special meeting at 5:29 p.m.
Mr. Mayor, it's time.
I'd like to call this public hearing special meeting to order at 5:45. Roll call, please.
Mayor Jose Grijalva,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tempore Ray Shelton, Councilmember Melissa Rodriguez,
Present.
Councilmember Jose Montaño,
Here.
Councilmember Gustavo Durazo Junior, Councilmember Maria Dillman,
Here.
Councilmember Richard Acosta,
Present.
City Manager Ana Urquijo,
Present.
City Attorney Dennis Fitzgibbons,
Present.
City Treasurer Alejandro Martinez.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 3, persons wishes to address the council in writing or verbally on any item not on the agenda on this public hearing. Do we have anyone, Ms. Clerk?
We do not, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Item number 4, discussion decision on public hearing. On item A, the purpose of the public hearing is to allow public participation regarding the 5311 transit grant application. Ms. I don't want to butcher the last name.
Gojkovic.
Gojkovic?
Yes.
Gojkovic. Thank you. Sorry about that. Next time I'll tell staff, sound it out so I could do it on the form. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The floor is yours.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I am Perry Gojkovic, the Transit Manager for the City of Douglas. The purpose of this public hearing is to afford an opportunity for interested persons or agencies to be heard with respect to social, economic, environmental aspects of our application to ADOT for continued funding of the Transit Department.
Thank you.
Mhm.
This public hearing is for anyone who wants to make comments on this. Any questions, comments regarding to this transit grant application? We'll give it 5 minutes, Ms. Gojkovic, and if nobody talks, we'll adjourn the meeting. It's it. You can sit. I've instructed staff to put these at 5, like around 5:55, so they're not too awkward because we just then have to wait for the regular meeting. And then we could always start the regular meeting later, not earlier, so we could get a lot of discussion on something like this next time. We'll just start it then. Seems like we have no conversation for the transit grant application. Is there a motion to adjourn from council?
Mayor,
Mrs. Rodriguez,
I move to adjourn.
do you have a second?
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Rodriguez, second by Mrs. Dillman. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Ayes have it. We adjourn the special meeting at 5:50 PM.
Mr. Mayor, it's time.
I try to conserve the battery. I'd like to call this regular meeting to order at 6 p.m. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and keep standing for the invocation by Pastor Luis Zaragoza from Grace Ministries Church of Douglas. Pastor?
Yes.
Well, it's time to pray. God be with you. Thank you, Lord, for giving me the opportunity to be with these wise men and women, leaders of the Douglas community today. Praise be your holy name. Lord, your word says that wherever two or three are reunited in your name, you will be with them. Your word also says that all the authorities were established by you. And we believe that. Please give Douglas authorities the wisdom to take every decision based on your word, Lord. Then you are going to bless us, and all we do will be prospered for the benefit of all who live in this community. God bless our authorities. God bless the city of Douglas. God bless the great state of Arizona, and God bless the United States of America. Amen.
Pastor, really quick before you leave, can you tell us
Sure.
about your ministry, where your church is located, and what hours of service you have, or the days
Sure,
and the hours?
sure. Our ministry is at 11th Street, and 535 is the 11th Street, not far from here. Or our services are at Sundays at 11 o'clock. That's the only service that we have.
The only service. So,
All right.
thank you. Appreciate it. You're welcome here anytime. Thank you for all your
Oh,
work.
Thank you very much.
Item number 4, roll call, please.
Mayor Jose Grijalva,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tempore Ray Shelton, Councilmember Melissa Rodriguez,
Present.
Councilmember Jose Montaño,
Here.
Councilmember Gustavo Durazo, Councilmember Maria Dillman,
Here.
Councilmember Richard Acosta,
Present.
City Manager Ana Urquijo,
Present.
City Attorney Dennis Fitzgibbons,
Present.
City Treasurer Alejandro Martinez.
Here.
Thank you. Item number 5, events update.
Hello from the Douglas Public Library. This is what's happening at your library in the month of February. As always, you can pick up a calendar just like this one here at the library, or you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram to learn more. Monday, we have relaxing activities from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. for all ages. You can come make Valentine's Day cards, do a puzzle, play a board game, and more. Tuesdays, we have after-school activities at our STEAM club at 3:30 p.m. We do something different every week, like arts and crafts, making snacks, learning about money and budgeting through games, and more STEAM-related activities. Wednesdays, we have movies at 3 p.m. with free popcorn and juice. Thursdays, we have story time for the little ones. We will read books, sing, dance, and have playtime afterwards. This Thursday is our special Valentine's Day story time. We currently have a nutrition class going on for 18 to 29-year-olds. That is on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. You can come learn practical ways to eat healthy. We also have every third Wednesday of the month office hours with staff members from Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva, and that is at 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. every third Wednesday of the month. Our Valentine's Day paint night is on February the 20th. You can come register here at the library or by phone. All materials are included, and that is at 5 p.m. paint night for adults on February 20th. We also have our book club that you can pick up a copy here at the library and then join us for a discussion at the end of the month on the 25th of February at 6 p.m. And lots of other things. If you want to learn more, you can pick up a calendar. February is Library Lovers Month, So we would love for you to show your love for the library by visiting us, picking up a calendar, join us for the activities, checking out a book, using all of our services. And we hope to see you here for Library Lovers Month and for the rest of the year. Thank you.
Hello from the Aquatic and Recreation Departments. Here are a few of our upcoming events. On February 12th is an author-playwright performance at the Douglas Visitor Center. Doors open at 5 p.m. This performance is based on the book, Raulito, about the first Latino governor of Arizona. The first 114 people to pre-register will receive a free signed copy of this book in honor of Arizona's 114th birthday. Join us to kick off the America 250 celebrations. Join us at the Cochise County Fairgrounds for Valentine's Day for a lovely evening with Gemini and Lowe's App Zone. Tickets are $20 each. Physical copies can be bought at the Aquatic Center, the Water Department, and Illusions Boutique on G Avenue. Starting on February 16th, the Aquatic Center will open for lap swim Monday through Friday from 5 to 8 in the morning and 4 to 7 in the afternoon, as well as Saturdays from 7 to 10 in the morning. Here are a few updates from the Aquatic Center. The surge tank has been drained, cleaned, and replastered. The facility fence has been sanded down and repainted by staff, and demolition of the men's restroom showers has been completed. Thank you for being so patient as we work to upgrade our facilities. Thank you on behalf of the Aquatic and Recreation Departments. We hope to see you at these upcoming events and at Open Swim.
Thank you. And thank you to our library and our aquatics and Parks and Rec. They're the ones that have something for us to do every month. Sometimes a misconception is that there's nothing to do in Douglas. I think it's our job to advertise and market what we do so everybody could be well informed. So thank you to our staff. Next item number 6, mayor and council member updates and or reports. Again, we'll start with Ward 1.
Yes, so I just want to share that Rosa from the Boys and Girls Club was gracious enough to give us a tour of the facility. And there's a lot of potential there. It's exciting what they have planned for the Boys and Girls Club. So couple things. I know part of the space is still not fully functional. And I know a lot of the city has a lot of equipment that was left behind by the ACT. And I know just an idea is maybe to donate some of those desks and kind of things that can be used for schools. Maybe we can donate them to the schools and help empty out some of those spaces at the Boys and Girls Club. So I think we need to kind of rush it because there's a lot of potential there. And if we want more kids to participate and join, we need to get that Boys and Girls Club up and running to its full capacity. So if we can help them any way that we can, I'd really appreciate it.
Thank you. Ward 2.
I don't have a whole lot. I know, be brief. We have a lot of people. I know you guys some of you guys know that I'm an avid golfer. So what we've been working on is inviting other areas to come golf. We've already had Cananea down. March, we're having Safford come down. They're probably going to bring 25 golfers, and for every person that comes down, they spend money down here. So that's something that we're going to be working on. And in the future, I don't know if you guys know, or in the past, I should say, that other schools would not come play golf in Douglas because of the condition of the golf course. So the city of Douglas has put a lot of effort, money into the golf course. So we're excited that the word is getting out, and we're also hoping that we can have some invitationals, maybe some tournament for high school kids, not just for older people, which is kind of a misconception. A lot of people play golf, not just older people. So that's coming hopefully in the future. We're gonna keep working on that, and that's gonna be hoping a good resource to get people down here, because that's what we need. We need track. So
Okay, thank you. Ward 3.
So I went on a tour with of the airport and also the golf, see the I would say in what condition they were and what the projects, upcoming projects are. Also, a lot of ideas on how to simulate the economy events using the golf and the airport as resources. Also had a meet and greet where 4 constituents went. We had pizza, donuts, and cookies, and we came across that in 2028 or 2029 is actually a 100-year anniversary of the Amelia Earhart Air Derby. So that's a good idea to make it into a big event, because it's how many cities are able to say that we had the Air Derby with Amelia Earhart here. So if that's would come to fruition, we would have to start planning from right now, talking to different cities and who would attend to that event. Okay, and did talk to a couple constituents saying that they've been seeing a lot of cats, stray cats, and they feel that a lot of people are eating them. So we're looking into like talking with animal control and see where we are with that. That's it.
First International Airport, are you comfortable directing staff to look into that event for the Amelia?
Yes.
You can direct staff.
We're already on, we're already on it.
Okay. Good. Ward 4 is not here, Mr. Shelton. I forgot to mention on the roll call. He's excused. I mentioned in the other meeting, attending to a family emergency health-wise. Ms. Dillman.
Thank you, Mayor. I've had a few events that I've been at. I did visit the Last Supper Museum, and I'm very impressed with that museum. It's very well put together. I didn't realize how many different types of Last Suppers there are, from woodwork, different countries, different depict the way people depict it. And I was very impressed. And you, Eric, thank you for the tour. And we also, when I was there, there were 5 or 6 ladies from Wilcox, and they were visiting Douglas. They spent a day in Douglas. They pick a city, town, or somewhere in Arizona or in Cochise County, and they make a day of it, and they go eat lunch, they go see the art, and they were very, very, very happy, and they were very impressed with the museum. There was another couple there while I was there as well. Eric, thank you for the tour, the great conversation and feedback. I can tell how much you want our community to grow and prosper, especially through tourism. And I thank you for promoting your museum, because it's lovely, lovely. Thank you. I attended the Elks Chili Cook-Off. There were many varieties of chili that were very delicious, and I congratulate the winners. And thank you to the Elks for all that they do with our community. The big event was the Thunder Mountain Wrestling event. There was around 200 people there that night, children and adults. Everyone was having a great time cheering and booing along with myself and the mayor. I even asked them to put the mayor in the ring, but they didn't listen. And
You don't know how excited she was for that.
it was good. It was a lot of fun. The wrestlers, they have a great following in Douglas. I was noticing that, and they follow the wrestlers and their storyline, and they put so much into the match that makes everybody get into it, which I was really, really impressed with. The most thing I liked is at the end, they make sure that they come out, they talk to the attendees, especially the kids. They enjoy interacting with the kids, pictures, autographs, you name it. They spend a lot of time at the end, and I was very impressed with that. They kept thanking us for having them come, and they enjoy Douglas. They enjoy being here, and we will see them in April.
Thank you. Mr. Acosta. 6.
Man, I have to follow Ms. Dillman. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it really brief. Again, I have been talking to constituents and, just driving around town. One of the biggest concerns that it's not a concern basically. It's just that we know for a fact that the Port of Entry is already being constructed as we speak. Except that they don't see it visibly. If you drive by the highway, there's nothing out there you can see. So they were talking about maybe tourists taking out there, maybe, I said, but it's just a secure construction site. There's no way you can get in there. But I did ask Mr. Pedrosa for some pictures. He did send them to me, and I did put them on my Facebook page. So just so that they could witness that, they are coming along. So that's probably the biggest thing that there are a lot of constituents here and within the community. And they did bring up the fact that, you guys get so much grant money, there's so much, but it's our responsibility to educate them as to how that grant money can be used. So, everybody wants their curbs fixed, their streets paved and so forth. And I know our new asphalt machine is coming along. So again, we are progressing. You just can't visually see it, but it's coming along. So that's probably the biggest thing I hear from any talking. So the only thing I tell them is just trust me. I promise you that here within 10 years, you'll see a big difference in town. So that's basically it.
Thank you. For my first report, I'd like to report that I've scheduled quarterly meetings with law enforcement, whether it's CBP, Cochise County Sheriff. We did have a call to the public, talk about the flock cameras. We'll be having a study session on the flock cameras, so we can ask questions, and then the community can also ask questions. I'd like to thank the religious leaders for the invitation to the first responders brunch. It was a lot of different departments there, and it was very much appreciated, especially with what they do for us. I'd like to thank Senator Mark Kelly for the $20 million connector road, something we've been waiting for so long. It's been, it was a whole burden off our shoulders, I think. And he's been advocating for it for years, and we finally got it. So we want to thank him. I'm not going to say I lied because I'm a politician, but the last time we had this report, I said we're going to have a futures meeting. So right after the meeting, I get an email on ICSE, which is Economic Development, and it was going to be in Phoenix the next week, the day of the futures meeting, and we talked about who's going to go. There was a lot of relevant individuals there for us in Douglas, so we canceled the futures meeting, but we did get a hold of a representative for a very big need that we have here, and they're going to come to town and visit us. So that trip was just worth that because of our constituents and what they know we need, without going into too much detail. I'd like to also thank Cornerstone Group, Brian and Berenice. They got me. So if you know me, I hate traveling. And I told staff, if I'm going to be up there, you get me in whatever meetings you can. So not only after ICSC, then we went to a gym to promote the boxing event on March 21st. So we announced that they're with the kids that were going to box. So they were excited. They didn't know about it until we announced it there. So, I mean, that was a loud room and it was a very big gym. And then the day after, I talked to the state legislators, which included our representation in the senator and the two representatives. But we also talked to the appropriations chair. And this is what I want to really make a point of emphasis. We are now asking the state for $30 million for the infrastructure out to the commercial port, which is going to come out of WIFA. That's the ask that we have anyways. And when I went and they said, what's the bill number and all that, then the legislator said, I have a note here. Oh, it's way too much money. So they didn't know what we were doing. They didn't know the purpose of the commercial port. They didn't know that it was going to be the most modern in the nation. They didn't know that we're reaching out to Mexico and reaching out to these different companies. And they also didn't know that I basically told them, I'm not only advocating for Douglas, but I'm advocating for the whole state of Arizona. We want as much industry as we can here in Douglas. If we can't handle it here, there's Cochise County in general. We can't handle it in Cochise County, there's Pima County. And then last but not least, there's also Maricopa County somewhere around the map. So it was after that conversation, he basically said, I didn't know. We don't want to hear from your staff. We don't want to hear from your lobbyists. We want to hear from the public servants, the public officials, because we're supposed to be representing you all. We're supposed to be telling them what you all need. So as far as with that, I'd like to encourage council. We need to get up there. We need to talk to our representation, whether it's state or federal, and we have to be the voice of the people. It can't be our staff, because our staff is representing us. We're representing the people. So it's the staff, you want to take the bureaucracy out of the way and take the people's voice up there to the legislators. So I think we need to make time for it. I know we're all busy, but at the same time, the bigger picture is the advancement of the city because we want more people to live here. That's going to help our school system. That's going to help our sales tax. That's going to help the businesses grow. So we need to be a little bit more active on that front. Thunder Mountain Wrestling. Well, Mrs. Dillman, basically, she said the whole part of it. She tried to get me beat up. And then I told her, I'm a bad bump away from you having a Mayor Shelton up here. He's not here, so I can pick on him. But it was really great. I did tell her, how many of these people do you know that are from Douglas? And at least 95% of them are not from Douglas. And I told her for the past year, these are all different people. So we're spending money sponsoring this event to bring different people from Douglas. That's tourism, that's marketing. That's the hook that we need for hotels so they can stay here. We need more lodging. They stay here, guess what? Then we can push them to the museums. We can push them to the retail stores, to downtown, to our specialty shops. So, I mean, it's very important to build on these things, not just say, well, it's wrestling. The mayor likes it. The mayor wants to get beat up. It's not about that. And like she said, it's about the kids too. The kids had something to do on a Saturday night. Instead of being out on the street, instead of, doing God knows what, they had fun. They had their energy spent. The kids that were sitting by us were screaming like crazy. I'm sure they slept good that night. We need to give them something to do. So it's very much appreciated. Thunder Mountain Wrestling loves Douglas. They're based out of Cerro Vista, but they told me we care more for Douglas because of how our community is treating them. So they're very much appreciated too. And also with that, I don't know if you all remember, but Thunder Mountain Wrestling was also a catalyst in bringing Synergy Home Care to have an office front in Douglas. They're going to be opening their storefront on Cochise Avenue, and they wanted to have a block party. And they said, what if we have this? And that's when I kind of told them, we have Energized Douglas. We should be taking it out into the community. Let's throw you the party for coming here. So they're very much excited about that. And I told them bring the wrestlers too, so the kids can have fun out there. I also had lunch with Richard Rosales from APS, very much appreciative on the partnership that we've had throughout the years. These business lunches are important because I said, Richard, what's up with the power over there at the asphalt plant? And he didn't know anything about it. So the day after, then our staff gets notification that they're going to give us a solar panel so we can have power out there at the asphalt plant. So it's these connections, these relationships that matter. I went with Mr. Pedrosa because council wasn't available, and also Mrs. Urquijo wasn't available for the mayor manager luncheon in Tombstone. I know this is going to probably sound like a politician giving you, political talk. The supervisor was there. She'll speak right now. But I just want to say every city has something to complain about. Right? Every city was, I need this, I need this, I need this. I'm going to confidently say we were the only city that said, we're doing this. We're doing this. So Douglas is in a good situation overall. I know we tend to get pushed maybe aside for Bisbee, aside for Tombstone, aside for Wilcox and Sierra Vista and Fort Huachuca. I mean, the only other one that had a positive report was, I think Huachuca City, because they got a sidewalk and they were very happy about that. So it's the little things they appreciate that we take for granted at the same time, but we're in a good place as far as the county goes. And I really want to appreciate the relationship with Kathleen Gomez, who's the county supervisor, who we had dinner. Yeah, that too. That's a relationship. Again, I'll regurgitate this every month when she's here. A relationship we've never had with the county. It's closer than it's ever been. So I thank you for that. We also went to a governor visit yesterday in Cerro Vista. She was there. Governor Hobbs was there. Gave her a State of the City pamphlet. Asked her to advocate for us on that $30 million because we need both sides to agree with it. We need both political sides, but also she's going to be working with the state legislator and with and as the governor, she has a say on the budget. So she said she would support us, and it's very much appreciated. I also went to my first MPC meeting. And I don't golf, but I told them whatever you need, let us know. It's budget season. So we talked not only about the greens, but we talked about what we call the country club, about the kitchen area, about the dining room area. Basically said, whatever you need, let us know. I know I get a lot of flack about me appointing myself to the committees. We should let council. But I'm looking at this as work, and no offense to anybody. I'm looking at this as work. I'm not going to go there and just, hey, whatever they need, it's business. Let's get it done. So I could unappoint myself. I'm going to appoint myself somebody else on there. We need to get things done. So hopefully we could get new stuff for the kitchen area, for the dining room area. I told them, do you need monitors for the reception area there where they have it? If you have after funeral services, have pictures there or something, a sound system that they don't have. When we have our events, we have to take a speaker with a microphone out there, and it's kind of embarrassing. Let's give the golf course in general everything that it needs. And there was also an ask after talking to one of the board members for the Boys and Girls Club earlier today. We could direct staff to inquire about the painting on the walls. We kind of left it in bad condition, so they'd like it painted. And I think since it's going to be their building, we should ask them what color they want and in what way they want it painted. Rant over. Thank you all for putting up with me. Item number 7, reading of proclamations, and we have 2. The first proclamation is Anti-Human Trafficking Month. Whereas human trafficking is a global plague that impacts millions of people each year, including tens of thousands of Americans, and whereas the United States ranks as one of the worst countries globally for human trafficking, and whereas Arizona ranks in the top 15 states with the highest rates of human trafficking per capita, and whereas human trafficking impacts people across all demographics and ages, including teenagers and children, and whereas the battle against human trafficking includes supporting efforts in schools, churches, nonprofits, law enforcement, and businesses to prevent human trafficking, intervene, disrupt, and dismantle human trafficking syndicates, and provide resources to and support for victims of human trafficking. And whereas the city of Douglas joins schools, churches, nonprofit organizations, law enforcement, federal and state coalitions, and the notinOurCity.org movement in our commitment to increase public awareness of the human trafficking epidemic that impacts our community, state, nation, and world. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that I, Jose Grijalva, Mayor, and on behalf of the Council, do hereby proclaim March 2026 as Anti-Human Trafficking Month in Douglas, Arizona, and urge our residents, churches, schools to work together to eliminate trafficking from our community and support the efforts of frontline organizations and law enforcement in their battle against human trafficking, and to take a stand and say, not in our city. And if we see something, let's say something to prevent it. Next proclamation is Arizona Statehood Day. Whereas on February 14th, 1912, Arizona was officially admitted as the 48th state of the United States of America, marking the culmination of decades of aspiration and perseverance by its people to join the Union. And whereas Arizona's journey from territory to statehood embodies the resilient spirit, diversity, and enduring legacy of its communities, recognizing its indigenous heritage, pioneers, cultural landscapes, and economic contributions that have shaped state identity. And whereas this year, Arizonans and communities across our state commemorate the 114th anniversary of Arizona's statehood, a time to reflect on our history, accomplishments, and continued growth as citizens of this remarkable state. And whereas in 2026, our nation celebrates America 250, the semi-quincentennial anniversary of the founding of the United States of America, a historic milestone inviting all Americans to pause, reflect on our shared heritage, honor contributions from every community, and look forward to building a future of unity, opportunity, and service. And whereas the state of Arizona has established an Arizona America 250 Commission to coordinate initiatives that uplift voices, preserve history, celebrate diversity, and connect communities across Arizona in meaningful ways as part of this nationwide commemoration. And whereas the city of Douglas is proud to host the Raul Castro Otter Playwright event on February 12, 2026 at the Douglas Visitor Center to celebrate Arizona's 114th statehood and serve as a local kickoff to America 250. And whereas Douglas Days, the 4th of July celebrations, and other community events in Douglas will incorporate America 250 themes, promoting civic pride, historical appreciation, and community unity. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that I, Jose Grijalva, Mayor, and on behalf of the Council, do hereby proclaim February 14, 2026 as Arizona Statehood Day in Douglas, commemorating the 114th anniversary of Arizona's admission into the Union, and proclaim February 12, 2026 as the official America 250 kickoff celebration in Douglas, encouraging all our residents and visitors to join the celebration of Arizona's history, our community's heritage, and the shared values that unite us as Americans. And February 14th, Los Abson, that's how you can all celebrate Valentine's Day in America's statehood. Thank you. Item number 8, persons wishing to address the council in writing or verbally on any item not on the agenda.
I have 3. We'll start with Diana Pacheco.
Good evening. Oops. Okay. Good evening, council members. My name is Diana Pacheco, and I wanted to reintroduce myself once again. I'm the market manager for Douglas Market. We've been organizing it since October, and we're happy to say that we finally have our first starting date. It will be February 27th. Given to you were a couple of flyers that if you would like to display wherever you can. Right now, we're in the search for vendors as well as promoting as much as we can to the Douglas community members who would like to participate. It will be every Friday. We're currently going to be having our winter hours due to the cold in the afternoon. So it'll be from 2 to 6 until further notice. And that'll be every Friday for the exception of May 15th, which would be a Douglas Days celebration. It will be on the market will be held on 10th Street Park as well. And now that's about it.
Thank you. And keep us informed on the dates, please, and how the progress goes and how the city can help you out.
Thank you so much.
Is anybody else hot? Okay. Can we put it down a little bit? Whoever, Alex, can you?
Childproof.
Oh, it's getting better. Oh, you're just sweating it out, my friend. That's next one is Rosa B. Rodriguez, Boys and Girls Club.
Good evening. And just to let you know, the walls have been painted.
Okay.
So you guys are welcome to go see the new.
Well, I already got my ask already then. That was quick. Thank you.
Right. Okay, so I'm not here to talk about a building. I'm here to talk about a future for Douglas. Every afternoon while the community search and answer to challenges facing their youth, the Boys and Girls Club of Douglas is already building them, creating safe spaces, strong values, and confident young leaders who will one day give back to this community. But the future like this is never built alone. So that's why I'm asking the community to help us. We invite you to come visit to see the impact for yourself and to become a part of this mission. Through your time, your support and donation are very kind and help to open more doors for our children. Because we invest in our kids and we're not just helping today, we're strengthening this youth in Douglas for the generations to come. I am Rosa, the director of the Boys and Girls Club. And I'm here to let you guys know about our hours, Monday through Friday, 2:30 to 6 p.m., Wednesdays from 11:30 to 6. Right now, we're still working on the school transportation. It's getting coordinated through the district. We are doing community outreaches to let everybody know that we're here. I'm going to community meetings and to anything I can get myself into. Our grand opening was postponed until a new date to be determined, so I will let you guys know. Club tours, you're always welcome from 9:30 to 11 a.m. And then Boys and Girls Club is a 501c3. It's a nonprofit status, so if anybody would like to donate to us, you do get that 501c3 paperwork. We're also accepting in-kind donations, so that can also be tax deductible. We're also coming up with events. On February 27th, we'll be having a teen night from 4 to 6 p.m., ages 14 to 18 as well. So we are going to start doing things for teens and families. So that at least would be twice a month. Then the first family night will be March 25th, the time to be determined, as well as another teen night in March as well. But our first teen night will be February 27th. We're gearing also towards the older kids, just so they can stay out of trouble. Especially our high schoolers, we're also trying to implement them a lot because the younger kids are more engaged than the older kids. So we're trying to engage older kids as well. Any questions for me?
Out of the public back and forth, but please keep us updated on the events. Send it to our emails if you can, so we could be promoting it, putting it in all across downtown, and then hopefully we could be announcing it to the district so all the schools can announce it too. So everybody could know and there's no excuse on not knowing. So we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
And I guess last but not least, Madam Supervisor, for your updates.
Yes.
Thank you very much, council and mayor. So I wanted to come to you, and I hope to come to you every month to give you an update of what the county is doing. Right now, I think I had expressed to you that we proposed or asked for an RFP for an economic development strategic roadmap for the port, the New Douglas Commercial Port, the 191 corridor, and for the county. I'm happy to say that we had 10 proposals as far away as Washington and California and Phoenix. So we are looking at the top 4, and we'll be having a work session. And then down the road, I'd like to have a work session with you all to tell you what the economic proposal states. One of the big things that I was surprised about was that each one of these proposals included a hospital for Douglas in the proposal as something that has to be done for economic development. So that was really exciting to see that I didn't have to pay out of my pocket for a feasibility study for the hospital. I wanted to let you know that it looks like there's going to be land for the hospital in Douglas. I don't want to say where, got a couple of different locations, but that is probably the easiest step. I have talked to 3 different hospitals that are interested in administering the hospital once we build it. And now I'm going out to talk for money in DC and to the state. At the Cisco Monte meeting we had, I talked to him about a hospital in Douglas, and he agreed that it's needed. He sits on the Appropriations Committee in DC, and that's really key. So I'm going up to DC to lobby for several things for the county and for the city, and a hospital is one of them. I really feel very, very confident that the money is going to come in. I've talked to, from the Howard Buffetts to the different corporations, and it's looking so positive that the hardest thing they told me to get was land, and that's ending up being the easiest. So that's really a good thing to announce. Also, one of the things that the mayor said was about talking to people. I was invited to the Cisco Monte meeting, which and I kind of really gave talking to the staff person of Cisco Monte because his district does come to BDI. And when I went to that meeting, I saw the mayor of Sierra Vista, and I said, I have a bone to pick with you. Why do you have the carnival at the same time that we have the Cochise County Fair? And he says, oh, it's not me, it's the base commander, and he's sitting next to you. So I asked him the same question. He says, I have been stationed in Sierra Vista or Fort Huachuca for 3 times, and I've never even known there was a county fair. And he says, and I didn't even know that we were competing with you all. And he said, maybe we can meet and we can have our carnival at a different time so we don't compete with the county fair. And maybe you guys can talk about a military appreciation day. And I said, I don't see that would be a problem. They would then promote the staff at the fort to come to our Cochise County Fair. Now, it's interesting that the fair is the largest event in Cochise County. Last year, 53,000 passed through the gates in 4 days. I asked the county fair to come, the staff to come to the Board of Supervisors to give us an update of what they're doing. Nobody promotes them. So the county, because it is in the incorporated area, we're going to start marketing the Cochise County Fair. And one of the biggest keys is we got to have internet for those vendors to be able to sell their goods in a much easier way. I plan to help, and I'll be talking to the city, and maybe we jointly can do something to help the county fair be more prosperous. So there again, it's just by talking to these people that, come together. And, I've heard this complaint, why does Sierra Vista compete with us? Well, no one ever asked them not to. So I'm really encouraged and really happy. I'm going to talk to Nikki. We're going to make sure that we have a military appreciation day so the soldiers from the fort can attend. The other thing is, Cisco Monte put in for $2 million to update BDI. I'm going to make sure that the fort does not try to take our airspace. That port is going to be very, very crucial to the port of entry, the new commercial port. So one of the other key things about it is about in the 70s at the BDI, we had a screwworm distribution center, which was really, really critical in stopping the screwworm from coming up into the United States. As we see the screwworm approaching Sonora, I'm pushing, and with Cisco Monte, and I'm going to talk to Congresswoman Grijalva, to have that distribution center here at BDI, because as you know, Sonora's major export is cattle. Cattle industry is really key to this county. And so if BDI can have that distribution center, it means jobs, and it means that we, protect our industry.
Okay, so the other thing too is that we had a whole work session on flock cameras. We are not the county going to go with flock. There are a lot of other companies that are smaller that don't store data, which they sell, and they can sit there and say, okay, well, the mayor, Mr. Grijalva, the mayor of Douglas, went in a car with a supervisor and they went this route. So we'll do either a Burger King or a Panda Express, and then they sell this information. It's really, really crucial that when you all look at that, there are a lot of other vendors. You can have control over what data is stored and how it's used. And I think that's really important. The CEO of Flock claims that in 10 years, he'll be able to make everything so safe. You won't need the sheriff department. You won't need the police department. And when anyone makes that kind of broad comment, you have to be somewhat nervous of how they're going to gather the information, how they're going to store it, who they're going to sell it to, and what they're going to do with it. So we did have a work session, I think it was last week. I encourage you all to go onto the county website and just listen to the concerns that were raised. And it's so much so that the sheriff, even though he was a little upset with us about that, now Tucson is not going to have flock cameras because of the issues that were raised. So you're going to be one of the few cities in Cochise County that didn't already do that. So make sure that you guys listen, to that work session and really understand and do some background checks on Flock, the company itself. Now, as far as thank you for the mayor's luncheon, I think that the mayor is correct. As many of you who can attend need to come because it's a very good networking. The commander had also told, I think it was a colonel who's in charge of the MW Morale, Welfare, and Recreational Department. And he came to me and said, we're going to work with you on the county fair so that we don't compete with you. So these are things that are really, really crucial, and I encourage you all to go. The other thing I noticed that wasn't mentioned was that the Rotary Club is having their 8th annual D-Hill Run, the Trojan Run, on April 11th at 7 a.m. You can call 520-417-7340 or recreation@douglasaz.gov. All the money raised goes to restoring the museum or giving them whatever they need. That museum is a treasure, and Bisbee or Tombstone would be marketing that to the T. So we always have this event. I'd like to ask the city and the council to please participate and get the word out because, like I said, all money raised goes back to the Douglas Air Museum. And with that note, I'd like to bring up too that in 1928, Eleanor Roosevelt inaugurated the Douglas International Airport. 28 is coming up real soon. So maybe with the Rotary and with the city, we could figure out now we have 2 years or so, and something that we could do, because when I tell you, when I was talking to some of these students, they didn't even know who Eleanor Roosevelt was. So history is key, and this is an incredible gem that we have, this international airport with the Douglas Municipal now, whether it's the Amelia Earhart or the Powder Puff Derby race, that was the first all-female pilot race in the United States. Douglas was part of it. So hopefully I'll be reaching out to any member who wants to join the Rotary Club from the City Council to talk about doing that kind of a celebration in 1928. So with that, thank you very much. I would like to come and give you an update on the hospital, on the new Port of Authority Board, and things that we, the county, want to do for Douglas to bring to the table so we make sure economic development comes to our city and to 191 and we prosper. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'd like to direct staff for the. Absolutely. They're cheering because you said out of all the scenarios with the flock camera, it's you and me going out to eat somewhere, huh? I'd like to direct staff. So IDA does this with the city during their meetings. They put basically like an item on there for city updates. So I'd like to have the same thing for our city council meetings with the county updates. That way you don't have to go to call to the public. You're already in, because it's important to know what the county's doing, how we need your help, how you need our help, and how we can keep working together. So thank you, Kathleen. Item 9, discussion decision on approval of consent agenda items. Items A through J. Expenditures for the month of January 2026 totaling $2,574,610.90. Meeting minutes for January 2026. Bid award to KP Ventures Well Drilling and Pump LLC, company
LLC for drilling and installation of a new water production well number 20. Contract award to Clifton Larson Allen for independent auditor services for fiscal years 2026 through 2028. Resolution number 26-1716, a resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the submission of a 2-year grant application to the Arizona Department of Transportation encompassing October 1st, 2026 to September 30th, 2028 timeframe for section 5311 and 5339 Rural Public Transportation Program funds to continue to provide public transportation services via the Douglas Rights Program. Resolution number 26-1717, a resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, ratifying and granting a utility easement to Arizona Public Service Company for installation and maintenance of electric lines, together with appurtenant facilities and fixtures over part of city-owned parcel number 408-34-008B to serve as a temporary well site and authorizing the city manager to execute all necessary documents. Resolution number 26-1718, a resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, ratifying and granting a utility easement to Arizona Public Service Company for installation and maintenance of electric lines, together with appurtenant facilities and fixtures over part of city-owned parcel number 408-34-008B to service the new commercial port of entry and authorizing the city manager to execute all necessary documents. Resolution number 26-1719, a resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, ratifying and authorizing the city of Douglas to accept grant funding from Best Friends Animal Society in the amount of $10,000 for participation in the Bring Love Home Challenge. Resolution number 26-1720, a resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, providing for workers' compensation insurance coverage for volunteer law enforcement personnel. And item J, City of Douglas Administrative Policy 4.90, Drug and Alcohol Policy for FTA and FMC SA regulated positions. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items?
Mayor,
Mr. Acosta.
I move that the council, mayor and council approve the consent agenda items A through J.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Acosta, second by Mrs. Dillman. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilmember Montaño?
Yes.
Councilmember Durazo?
Yes.
Councilmember Dillman?
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, motion passes. Item 10A, ordinance number 26-1228, an ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, amending section 10.08.010, section 10.16.020, and section 10.19.010 of the Douglas Municipal Code relating to parking, establishing severability of components of ordinance, and establishing an effective date thereof. Mr. Rockwell.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We're asking to modify this ordinance so decisions on things like parking, striping, signing, all these and there's as an engineer, there's a Bible we follow. It's called the Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices. It has all these items in there. And it's very important that we follow that when we make decisions on things like striping, signing, traffic control, crosswalks, putting signals in. There's quite a bit there, and it gets very technical, and it's very important to follow that because, believe it or not, more lawyers buy the MUTCD than engineers. So anyway, we're asking that the responsibility for traffic control changes within the city of Douglas be put on the city engineer and with the county manager. Currently, we have to bring things to the council for traffic control changes. It'll go through first reading, 30 days, and the second reading. So we're probably at 60 days before we can actually take action on a traffic control change. Are there any questions?
Mayor, if I may.
Yes.
So this also, thank you, Mr. Rockwell. This also adds for an ability for the city to streamline some of our processes and be able to provide quicker service, but it also provides an ability to go back and update so many areas because of the red tape and bureaucracy and layers of code review over the years. There are, for example, some limited parking areas that code has been changed and we haven't caught up to make those changes. So it also allows us a new set of eyes to go in and kind of clean things up and be able to work together through the engineering portion. I'd work with the engineer and gives the city manager the authorization to make those quick changes when somebody comes in to request limited parking changes. So just wanted to add that.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the placement of ordinance 26-1228?
Mayor,
Mr. Acosta.
I move that the mayor and council approve the placement of ordinance number 26-1228 on its first reading by number and title only.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Acosta, second by Mrs. Rodriguez. Any discussion?
Mayor,
Mr. Montaño.
I just have a comment. I think this came about because one of my constituents, they have a nonprofit and they wanted to make a couple of small changes to their parking structure area. And we found out that in order to get that done, it has to come to council and it has to be second reading plus 30 days. So it's gonna take 3 months before anything can be done. With this change, the city manager and her designee, which would probably be the city engineer, would be able to make that decision and make it quick and not have to wait 3 or 4 months before anything. I think this is the first step to kind of simplifying things.
And if you don't mind me saying, limited parking is like ADA parking, disabled parking. With the blue stripe, it would have to go, if somebody says I like handicap parking, it has to go through us. Then you have to write up the ordinance. You have to then, like everybody's saying, you have to wait until the next meeting, wait until the next reading and the 30 days. So this sort of streamlines it for those individuals and those businesses that would like that type of parking there. Any other discussion?
Mayor, yes, and that's a perfect example. There are other examples like 15-minute parking, loading zones, things like that. Thank you.
Especially with businesses that, they need the parking, but maybe across the street, it's, they stay there, shop there, and then they don't have that parking. So yeah, that's the limited parking. It's not just anytime. So there's some sort of a designation for it. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilmember Montaño?
Yes.
Councilmember Durazo?
Yes.
Councilmember Dillman?
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, motion passes.
An ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, amending section 10.08.010, section 10.16.020, and section 10.19.010 of the Douglas Municipal Code relating to parking, establishing severability of components of ordinance and establishing an effective date thereof.
I have a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance number 26-1228.
Mayor,
Mrs. Rodriguez.
I move that the mayor and council approve the first reading of ordinance number 26-1228 and place it on its second reading by number and title only.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Rodriguez, second by Mr. Acosta. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilmember Montaño?
Yes.
Councilmember Durazo?
Yes.
Councilmember Dillman?
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, motion passes.
An ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, amending section 10.08.010, section 10.16.020, and section 10.19.010 of the Douglas Municipal Code relating to parking, establishing severability of components of ordinance and establishing an effective date thereof.
Thank you. Item 11, acknowledgement of city petition related to the downtown streetscape design.
I'll be presenting it sort of from the point of view. I was kind of in the situation when it started, so it was presented by Mrs. Ida Pedrego last month. Her ask was basically transparency. We started off with two options. This was when I was council how many years ago? Started off with two options. Those two options were not popular. Then we added a third option, and then staff kind of said, if you vote for the third option, but you voted for one or two already, then it cancels it out. And then the petition was because the day on a special meeting, I think May 1st, it was voted on a fourth option that night, a motion by the mayor, which is kind of the it's, I'm not going to say unheard of, but it's usually let the council do it. After the bid was rejected, Mrs. Pedrego has kindly made the petition to basically, as the petition says, to further discuss it. So that's where we're at today. I'm going to give you the floor, Mrs. Pedrego, and Mr. I have a form for you and also a form for Mr. Eric Braverman, and he has given you his time. So instead of 3 minutes, you'll be allotted 5 minutes as we discussed.
And Mayor, I also turned in more petitions to the city clerk, so there's over 300 and some now. Good evening, Mayor Grijalva and members of the council. My name is Ida Ann Pedrego. I own Illusions Boutique and I'm a resident of Douglas. I am here tonight representing a coalition of over 300 merchants and residents who have signed our petition opposing the current Douglas streetscape plan as it is written. Let me be perfectly clear. We are not against the revitalization. We love G Avenue. We want it to succeed. We want it to be beautiful and welcoming. But we are against a plan that risks harming the very businesses it claims to help. And we are against a process that has threatened the merchants of this downtown, the people who pay the taxes, who employ the constituents and serve customers every single day as uninformed constituents rather than experts that we are. Tonight, I am not here to say no. I am here to offer a better way. The petition and the problem. We have submitted over 300 signatures. That is not a handful of disgruntled neighbors. That is a broad, bipartisan cross-section of Douglas stakeholders saying, slow down. Our concern is not change. Our concern is that the plan was designed by a larger city like Tucson, Phoenix, maybe even Chandler. There was never properly scaled down to fit Douglas. In smaller cities, cars equal customers. Our customers drive here. They will circle around and around till they find parking. They make quick stops, and if we make it inconvenient for them, confusing or congested, they will not walk to our businesses. They will simply drive to other side of town. And you know what I mean. The city has presented us with renderings, but have not presented us with data. 5 questions that remained unanswered. We are asking respectfully for the council to demand answers to these questions before pouring a single yard of concrete. First, what data proves that increased foot traffic will offset the loss of vehicle access and parking in the city of our size? Second, where is the data demonstrating that the majority of Douglas constituents actually approved this specific design? Third, what is the specific funding plan to mitigate business losses during this construction, which could last months? Fourth, what are the metrics for success? If you did not define what winning looks like, how will you know if it has failed? And fifth, the most important question here, what is the rollback plan? If this project harms commerce, how do we undo it? Once the curb is moved and the concrete poured, the decision is irreversible. Think of the cost. Our proposal is the pilot block alternative. We are not asking you to kill this project. We are asking you, test it first.
cheaply, temporarily, and reversible. We propose that the city implement a 3 to 6 month pilot program on a single block of G Avenue. Using paint, planters, decorative tires, removable bollards. This is not radical. This is standard practice for cities that respect their small business communities. During this pilot, we measure traffic flow and parking utilization, business revenue, both during and after. You also have customer feedback collected directly from the people who are actually shop here. If the pilot works, great. Now the city has data to prove that the community will get behind a permanent version. If the pilot fails, if congestion increases, if merchants lose revenue, if customers stay away, if you have not destroyed 2 blocks of downtown, you have spent a few $1,000s on paint, planters, and you have learned something very valuable. This is smart government. Then there's the communication failure. I also need to address something that's very uncomfortable for most of us. The city has attempted to gather feedback through social media and through surveys. This does not work in Douglas. Has not. We are a bilingual community. Many of our businesses, owners and residents rely on personal conversation, not Facebook polls. If the city wants genuine input, they need city employees that are fluent in both Spanish and English, going door to door, block to block, explaining this plan to the community. Right now, the information gap has created suspicion. People feel decisions are being made for them, not with them. They feel the city has not been transparent. This is not democracy. This is what one of our members called fake acompañamiento. We are asking you to close that gap before moving forward. In conclusion, Mr. Mayor and members of the council, we are not your opposition. We are your partners. We are the ones who unlock the doors every morning. We are the ones that sweep the sidewalks. We, the merchants, who greet our neighbors when they come to spend the money in Douglas. We want G Avenue to thrive, but we cannot thrive if we cannot be reached. Do not make us a cautionary tale. Do not let Douglas become another small town that spent $1 million to lose its customers. Sarah Vista is going through this right now. If you go to the port of entry, it was on Channel 13. They narrowed the street. It has created more accidents, and now city council is not sure how they're going to fix it. Please vote to pause this plan and direct the city on a reversible pilot program that gives us the opportunity to see if this works. And I want to thank the 3 councilmen that made time to visit me and ask me questions. And so I could ask you, and you shared with me, Mr. Montaño, Mr. Durazo, and very much Mrs. Tillman. Thank you very much. And with this, I want you to know, we do support because we want to beautify Douglas. I'm a very passionate employee of the city of Douglas, and I do it with a lot of passion. And I believe that before we spend millions of dollars doing something that may or may not work, let's assess, let's find out. Thank you for this opportunity.
So I do have here in my notes, a motion, a second, and any discussion, and then roll call. But this is an acknowledgement of the petition. So this is not a voting item. Legally, I could just say, hey, we got your petition. Thank you, good night. But I want, it's important to have the public discuss it. But I did want to ask our legal before we go on, because this was a description of what she said on the petition. Dennis, do I need to bring it to the floor for discussion since it's not a voting item? It's just a discussion item?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I think council can just discuss the item. I mean, it's.
Okay, I don't need the motion and, okay.
No, I think it's properly on the
For
agenda.
discussion
The
portion
petition
with the,
is on the agenda, so you could just discuss it.
okay, thank you, Dennis. Next we have Lawana Diffie.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council persons, community of Douglas. What she said, every word of what she said, I thought that was amazing. I'm coming up on 21 years of having my own business here in Douglas. It's been a stretch. I want to come at it from a little bit different angle. These tariffs are going to be really a mess for small businesses. We do maybe 50 to 75 computers a month, depending. There is a part that we buy regularly for those computers. And last month it was $17.45. This month it's $49.80. That's 3 times. That's going to be really tough. And my concern is if we start tearing up G Avenue, and I'm not on G Avenue, but if we start tearing up G Avenue and the people that we generally have coming down don't come down, and we're paying higher prices for the things that we're trying to sell, this could be catastrophic because most of us are on a pretty narrow margin anyway. That's just something to think about. I love the fact that we're doing this, what's going on in your area stuff. That's fabulous. If we could ever come up with a community calendar, I've talked about this so many times, I'm blue in the face, but if we could have some way of being able to let people know more than a week ahead that something was coming up, it would be easier to pull people from Tombstone, from Benson, etc. Could we maybe at some point consider using the sign outside of City Hall to announce some of those events or some of those coming events? There's that and that, community calendar. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
And we'll attribute the community calendar to the downtown events that could fit in the topic. But thank you, Ms. Diffie. Kathleen Gomez.
So yes, I come as a resident, Kathleen Gomez, 2350 East 12th Street. One thing that I remember when I came in 2008 was that, or 2007, was that there was a huge survey, a huge study. It was in the Al Drug. Consultants were hired on revitalizing and bringing economic, I guess, prosperity to the city of Douglas. I think we spent 180,000, 80,000, I'm not sure. And then there was another study, and then there was this study. So there have been so many studies, even there was consultant studies on what to do with the airport, and nothing happens. I think what happens is we're not listening to the people in the community that live here. I really would like to see Douglas, downtown Douglas, become once what it was, which is maybe only about 10 years ago. So what I feel that we have to do as a city too is not put up walls. Like I'm going to tell you, I was so upset when Golden Times closed because it was the one place I could get a BLT here. And a banner should not be a reason why you close down a business. To sit there and say, that is minuscule. What you want is you want people downtown in these buildings, because if you paint it, if you build sidewalks, extend sidewalks, if nobody is occupying those buildings, it's going to look the same way in 6 months, 8 months. It's not going to bring improvement. You bring business first, and then you revitalize, paint it, put trees. But without any businesses there, that's really kind of throwing money down the drain. I look at what happened to Golden Times, and then I hear about all the code enforcements. And then I look at the Barrio District where you put in a brand new tire auto department right where the historic district is. And I think what you have to do is figure out what you're doing, because the staff, and all respect to the staff, I say it to the staff in Cochise County, they are not accountable. You guys are accountable. I'm accountable. You're elected. You have to go out and knock on doors. The community expects the elected officials to set policy and to change policy if it's needed. So that's the big difference. And I really having worked in the county, I'm having to change those views too. I can go to jail, you can go to jail, you can get recalled, you have to knock on doors, you have the election. You are responsible for listening to your constituents. And when they have this many people say, hey, you got a problem, you've got a problem. The staff is not accountable to the people. They're accountable to you. And so you have to step up and see when things aren't going right, make the difference. Thank you.
And our last speaker, Zayla Valtierres. Did I pronounce everything right?
Hello, Mayor, council members. My name is Zayla Valtierres. For those that don't know me, my business is Vestir Savannah Uniforms. I am also the food service director for the Cochise County Jail, which I am very happy to have Ms. Gomez support the jail, stay in the area. I know it's a little bit off topic, but yesterday we actually did celebrate our first annual Correctional Food Service Appreciation Day. There's a lot of work that gets done behind the scenes at the jail. So just kind of wanted to throw that out there. Maybe show some pictures of the staff that worked there would be great so you guys can know. But what I did want to talk about was G Avenue. I'm super excited about what's going on. Just that at some point we got blindsided. We were very vivid in what was happening. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, this is what we're gonna do. However, I do think that there's items that you guys are looking for, but that don't benefit us overall. We don't need larger sidewalks. We don't have that many people walking the sidewalk. But definitely we do wanna beautify it. We do wanna make it look good. I love my building. I love where I'm located. And we do want to promote more business coming through. I love my parking area, but definitely I would like to see it look nice, right? So I think overall that's what the focus is, allowing people to come to Douglas, touring, especially the people that do stay in the Gadsden and they do walk around our stores. They do come into our buildings and providing the safe sidewalks for them, you know, not being cracked and causing a slip or trip and fall for that. So definitely we don't want that, but we do want it to look beautiful. Just like you do your home, you ask somebody, hey, what do you think about this? Especially if you have your wife, you're gonna ask her what she thinks. And I think that's who we are. We're that person that, hey, what do you think about this? How do you want it? Because overall, we're the ones that are there. I'm looking forward to meeting with you guys to seeing what the next projects are. And I think overall, it's a big success for downtown and for us merchants. I see 4 merchants, business owners here in this meeting. So I do think that it's something important that we look forward in beautifying downtown Douglas. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's for the community speakers. Any discussion from council?
Mayor.
Mr. Acosta.
Okay, I just want to clarify a couple of things here. I know that last time when the petition during the special meeting, it was brought up to our attention that we had just gotten appointed to be a councilman and that we had no idea what was going on. Just to clarify that, well, to something to that extent, but we did get educated the day after we got appointed. We did have a one-on-one meeting with the city manager and went through the whole timeline of the streetscape. Okay? Sure.
Mrs. Pedrigo, I'll let you, after he's done, I'll let you.
And
Because this
second of
isn't
all-
called to the public, so there can be a.
Second of all, you know, I do read social media and you know, journalists have the right to publish what they think is right. And you know, that kind of, I read an article based on, you know, your petition, and the mayor, quote unquote, states that us, the council, always go with what their staff tells us. No. We vote based on what we feel. Feel right here. Born and raised here in Douglas, I know the sense of urgency for our downtown, this streetscape is vital, and it's a great idea. Douglas, the change in our community is important. We want to bring investors in. We want to bring commerce in. We want to bring new businesses in. This streetscape is the way to go. Now, all of a sudden, we go from the petition, originally the speech was from the turning lane. If I'm correct or not correct, right? And now, it's offset to where they want to go to a pilot. Not one word today, I believe, was mentioned about the turning lane. And, I've done research. We're educated people up here. We're educated down there as well. We do our research, we learn, we ask, we talk to our constituents. And I mentioned before about the port of entry. They're tired of us acknowledging the fact that these projects are already going on. They want to visually see a bulldozer. They visually want to see all that. They want to see the impact in our community, construction, and so forth. It's unfortunate that we are losing businesses, small businesses. Yes, it's unfortunate. And there's research says that 20% of small businesses in the rural community go out of business within 1 year. 50% go out of business within 5 years. This is research, okay? Research also states lane reductions. Our streetscape here states the fact that, going back to the turning lanes, it's been part of the Douglas, but, Mr. Douglas back in the day, you're talking about horse carriages and so forth. And there's also a train that ran down. That's why it's wide. But research states that a two-way road is a natural slow traffic, and it benefits businesses. Because why? You could turn around and look at the businesses, look at their windows, see what's going on. Okay? And the other thing that, it's important is those bump outs. It extends the sidewalks. It gives the pedestrian a shorter walk to cross the street for safety reasons. Okay? And I'm not making this is all research. And the fact of the matter is, here's the final concept. This is what we voted on. Okay? It's there. Angle parking, and I know you did communicate with me one time via phone call to my work, and we kind of got confused in the link you sent to me via email about the final concept that we had voted on. This was it. I mean, totally different than what you were telling me on the phone. So yes, I am kind of upset, but you know what? All this here, this is all on their Engage website, 3.3. This is beautiful. This is what we're looking at. Ms. Valtierrez mentioned, we just want a beautiful area. This is what we have to look for. Yes, it's not going to be exactly the same, but it's the same idea. So I think we need to give the opportunity, and if I'm not mistaken as well, Ms. Urquijo, there's a timeline on the grant. So we got to get moving on it. Your suggestions, they're important. We appreciate what you're doing, Ms. Federer, and everybody who spoke today, and everybody who signed that petition. We truly, truly, truly appreciate and admire for your love for this community. But let me tell you, right here, all around here, we do not work for them. We work for you. We make decisions what's best for you and our city, not what they want. So I just want to clarify that, Mayor, because if I know it was quote unquote told by you, okay? So we're here to make this community the best we can. It's a small, and the research, was a small rural community streetscapes. What is it for? It's all here. There's a bunch of it online. I take the time and read it. I've never been to your museum, sir, but you know what? Research is data, correct?
Mr. Braverman,
Okay.
Mr. Braverman.
The research is data, but the point I just want to make is that we understand where everybody's coming from. We do understand that. And again, it goes back to, yes, I was educated before we made the vote on the final concept. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, and I'll let them go because I don't want them to say one thing and then go back and forth. But I will clarify on my quote because the city manager did tell me a councilman texted them what this mean. You have my number. You can call me or text me. I said staff lives in a bubble at City Hall. It's up to us to go out to the people to find out what you need Because especially when we have a discussion, and I'm gonna tie it to this, Dennis, in case you're gonna cut me off. A few months ago when we say, we need to keep wards because wards, you know, we don't want somebody from Ward 2 to tell somebody from Ward 6 what to do and vice versa. This is Ward 3. So where's the Ward 3 representation throughout this whole time? I know you're new, I'm not putting it on you, but it seems like we need to have our representation go out there, not staff, because with all due respect to staff, and I've told staff this, there's already something they want that they're trying to sell instead of what do you all need? Because we don't know. I've been downtown ever since I was a Ward 6 councilman. I got attacked for going downtown because they said that's not your ward. Yet you didn't have the representation from that at that time go to the businesses. So that was my quote. City staff lives in a bubble, no offense, but it's 9 to 5. I las regañé one time because I told them you order off the app at Walmart. You don't even get down and hear the conversations of what people want or introduce yourself to see what you can do for them. It's just back and forth from City Hall. It's our job to be out there to talk to everybody. And do we have wards or not? Because if we do, then let's talk to this ward and these wards to see what they need individually because it's not the same. But my comment was, staff lives in a bubble. The representation needs to be out there. If they misquoted me, I can take it up with the newspaper, but that's what I said. Anyone else?
Mayor,
Mr. Montaño.
I just want to, well, to your point, the staff works 9 to 5 for these. That's their job. Not his job to go do more job afterwards. So if you're expecting them to go to Walmart to get down and talk to people, then we need to adjust their hours. That's not their job to go talk. That's our job. So anyways, on the streetscape, I talked to a bunch of you guys, a bunch of people around town. Huh?
Ms. Valtierrez,
Yes. I talked to a couple, yes. I stopped by there. I stopped in your block. I stopped to her. I stopped Joey. I talked to Mr. Figueroa. I didn't get a chance to go to your shop, but yes, I did. I talked to
property or city money?
Miss-
City money
no, but this is the thing. This is our belief here. Right now, the way downtown is, we just had a business shut down. 5 years from now, if we don't do anything, what do you think is going to happen? So
why do we?
we'll let council speak, and then if anybody else
So-
wants to speak,
so
we
I
can
tell
take
you
the.
what's gonna happen if we don't do anything. What if we don't do anything in the next 2 years, another shop closes down. 2 years from there, another 2. If we do this revitalization, maybe we will have investors come down and say, hey, this is a pretty area.
You already have investors.
Well,
And-
no, wait. Right now, I'll let them. If you'd like, you can fill a paper so you can talk, if that's okay. So
So-
then,
They come down, they see that the area is pretty, and then they'll say, well, maybe I can open a restaurant there. Maybe I can open a brewery. Maybe I can open something else. So that's our belief that that's what this is gonna bring. If we don't do anything, I can almost tell you, and most of you guys will know that what's gonna happen is we're gonna have another place shut down, another empty building. So that's one of my takes. The other thing that I when I spoke to people, right, I didn't just speak to businesses, I spoke to people on that list that signed the petition. And most of them said, I've been hearing this forever. Why haven't we done it yet? So why delay it more, they say, just get at it. So no, I talked to them. They told me that. So if you don't believe me, that's not my problem. But I think we need to get this going. It's been going on. I think the first study was like in 2011. That's 16 years, 2008 maybe. So it's been almost 20 years and nothing has been done. So why are we just delaying it more? We change anything right now, we're gonna lose what we've done. That's, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's about $300,000 in studies and drawings and all that. We change it, That's out the window. Now we have to do it up to.
Mrs. Pedrick, no. Can't go back and forth. Mr. Braverman can't go back and forth. Let them say their piece and then I'll allow any comments after if you're called out. But Mr. Schumacher.
I'm just gonna reiterate that I talked to a bunch of the people and they agreed. We need to get something going. We can't just keep changing and changing and changing. 10 years from now, we'll still be talking about this and nothing will be done. That's all I got.
Okay, so I'm gonna mention me again. My point was, we can't say that staff knows what the people want if they're not around the people. That's number one. Then we also have Tuesdays that our city manager, when I first went, I said we could put on sneakers, we can walk downtown. I haven't done that with anybody. It's just been me after I get out from the gym. So no, it's not adjusting. It's basically don't say that you know what the people want when you don't talk to the people. That was basically it. We have.
So, Mayor,
Mrs. Rodriguez.
I'm just gonna keep it brief. I agree with Mr. Acosta and Mr. Montaño. So I'm not gonna go off on a tangent and repeat the same thing. Mrs. Pedrego, I appreciate that you provided an option of doing a pilot. But the way I see it, if we're gonna pilot something for 3 to 6 months and then it doesn't go well, you've already wasted that time. Instead of, and if it goes well, okay, you wasted that time because now you're doubling the amount of time that is going to be affecting your business. But I also know that when contractors are hired to do jobs like this, they make sure to ensure that businesses still have the availability to keep running. They make accommodations for the businesses. So we're looking at all of that, and that is all on the website. Okay, so I honestly think I'm not a merchant, I'm not a business owner. So you're right, I cannot, spend a day in your shoes. But what I can say is that a lifelong resident of Douglas, I want to see the city prosper. Okay, and yes, earlier you asked me, well, where do you shop? Well, you know what? First of all, it's none of your business where I shop. But second of all, okay, we need to increase tourism in this city. Okay, Bisbee thrives on tourism. So if we can beautify our downtown, then I feel that businesses will come, will increase our economy. And that is my opinion. If you don't like it, then okay. But I just really think that if we can beautify our city, then it's gonna be like it's gonna be a snowball effect where then positive things are gonna come to our city. Okay, and I can tell you, I get it. Things are expensive. And Stuffy, I feel for you because yes, things are expensive now. And it doesn't matter where you shop. Shop at Walmart, it's expensive. Things have increased in prices. And unfortunately, that does hurt us. That hurts our economy. That hurts the people that are purchasing. We're not able to buy things the way that we used to be able to buy things. Okay, so we can't control that, right? We can't control tariffs. We can't control things like that. And I know I read a Facebook post regarding Son Países, and they closed their stores a little over a year ago. And the owner, if I can quote her post, she didn't put anything on the city. She says that people in Douglas don't shop local because it is expensive. A lot of things that she would sell, she said that you could get it cheaper online. So I honestly believe that if we beautify downtown, and not just by putting up trees or painting, we make a significant change that's going to attract more people to our city.
Okay. No.
Mayor. I was not involved when the scape started in that, and I appreciate the love that we have for our community and everyone sitting here tonight. all of us included, we all have a vested interest in Douglas. And maybe in 1909, it was, great to have the streets the way they were, the sidewalks. We need to move forward in our future. Our port of entry is like the key to what we've been waiting for this whole time. And we now have to move forward and make our downtown more beautiful. We have to, and we need to make it more safer. We look at how we park now. The rear ends of our cars stick out in the street. And I mean, people just zoom by, and I think our parking will be safer, our crosswalks. I mean, who knows what's under the pavement that's going to end up needing to be fixed. So as time goes on and they start opening these things up, we have to get back to code as well. So I just feel we need this downtown. We need to beautify downtown. We've got to do something. And that's what I have to say.
I don't want you to be the only one. It's under your award.
No, so this was planned from the concept was back in 2011. Okay, that was a different scene here in downtown. Now, what, 15 years later, it's a very different downtown. A lot of businesses have closed. We have to change. If we don't adapt, we'll go extinct. Businesses are closing all the time. And if I'm correct, initially it was budgeted for 3 blocks, correct? And now with inflation and everything, we don't have enough money only for 2 blocks. See? So if we wait more, what's going to happen?
Mayor,
Feel free. Yeah.
Well,
we still have a
3.
viable 3-block budget per our engineers.
Okay.
It's still going through bidding.
Okay.
Yes.
So, but everything's more expensive. Construction's more expensive.
It is.
So now the build is more. The more we wait, it's going to be more expensive to us. And we also have a time limit on the grant. Okay. If we don't use it, we will lose it and we'll be end up with nothing. But we had 15 years to see the change. Douglas is losing businesses. And it's not because we want to, it's because the world has changed. Just prior to 2020, we had more businesses. And what happened? Everyone's moved to online after that. Okay? Prominent shops started closing up. Okay? Chains that we thought were anchor stores have now left. Okay? This happened in downtown Tucson. Okay? The Chicago Music Store, which was there for, I think, almost 100 years, closed shop. Why? Because it was no longer feasible to be there. Now it's a thriving community of restaurants and Gap. Everyone has shifted to that. We have to adapt. If we don't adapt, we will fail. And our town will not grow. We will not attract different people to move over here. I lived all my life here. I wanted to grow. I wanted to be a place where my kids want to stay. Okay, if we don't have this, obviously, I wouldn't judge them to want to leave to a bigger city because they have more accommodations, better downtown scenery. It's safer over there. So it's all about perspective. Okay, so nowadays commerce is all online, and I'm sorry, like Walmart. Walmart was one of the major catalysts that closed up shop of a lot of businesses here. Why? Because it's cheaper. People stopped shopping locally here on G Avenue. Also, the dollar started getting very expensive. So now the people from Mexico don't want to shop here. It happened to my aunt's business on G Avenue on 2nd Street. Everyone wants to shop online. Now she has to pivot somewhere else. She has to adapt. So we have to adapt as a city to be able to attract more people. Okay?
So I got a few. You were called out, so I'm gonna let you speak. don't hate me, but there, if you already spoke before, unless you were defending yourself, basically, that's your time. So I'll have you speak, Mrs. Pedrego, defend yourself, and then I'll have the others speak.
Mr. Acosta and Mr. Montaño, I did not say you did not have the opportunity to see the schemes. I said you did not have the opportunity to speak with constituents, the people you represent. That's what I said. And again, I am a business owner, and I've been a business owner for over 30 years, very successfully. The property, that's the other big thing. The people that own property on G Avenue, like the people that have spoken, they weren't contacted. They weren't informed. We were never asked. And I'm not speaking on my behalf. On the first committee, it was myself and Mr. Montaño, if I'm correct. After that, we weren't on a committee anymore. And you say this is going on, it's been longer than 12 years. Longer than 12 years, Mrs. Urquijo, because long before, I have been on, I can't tell you how many streetscape, what is it? Committees, thank you. I've been on so many, and I even mentioned it to you back then. I'm so tired because it's como llamaradas de petate. You talk, nothing happens. Before Mrs. Jareen left, she was our city manager. Everything was already set. That was when Mr., and I can't remember the mayor, Uribe. And then you came along, and how many feasible studies have we had? How many feasible studies since you have been city manager? Because we do this, and then you do another feasible study to add more, to add more, and to add more. You said, and it was you who said that we were talking about the turning lane. The turning lane is a big issue. I didn't mention it because I had already spoken on that behalf. But yes, the turning issue. The other issue is the parking. You say there will be access to our businesses. Yes, sir, there will be. But who shops locally? And when I asked you the question, it wasn't to insult you, and I'm sorry if I did, because it's not my business. But this is why I asked. Because as she said, she doesn't shop locally here, other than Walmart. But let me share. Most of us, the senior citizens, where do we shop? I'll tell you, locally. We don't go to Tucson. We don't go to Cerro Vista. We shop here. Those are the customers. The people from Agua Prieta, and you said they don't come. Oh, they come to my shop. Almost 80%. It used to be 95. Now it's like 80% of my shoppers are from Mexico. Do you know why they're stopping and calling? Because of the, what is it? The coming in to Douglas, it takes them 2 hours. Going back home is another 2 hours. So what I do is I adjust. Sometimes I'm at the store at 7:30, 8:30, till they can make it. But my customers know I'm available. But no, it isn't because our prices. May I also add, why do people come from Tucson and Phoenix to my shop? Do you know why? Because my prices are cheaper. You can ask, but and then there's more. You need to consider that one of the biggest problems, and I mentioned that tonight, was transparency. There was no transparency. Yes, sir, you read what Mrs. Urquijo suggested, and you accepted that day.
Time.
The problem is, yes, sir, you did not meet with constituents, and that is my final say. That's who you need to ask. What do we want? We pay taxes. Thank you.
Okay, so unless you were called out as she was, I'm gonna call on the ones that signed speaker request forms that have not talked. You have 3 minutes as the. You were called out on your museum, go ahead.
Say it real quick. The research that we have, and it's this thick, is from NAU University. It was a 10-year study, and we have another university. I like to address the people. And that research shows that what people want to see, tourists, is an old school looking town the way it did. End of story. That's what all the research says. We can do it so much cheaper, and we can promote what we have. Our Car World, the Friendly Port, the Gadsden, the Cultura Center, the Last Supper Museum. We can just, why don't we promote what we have? We were working on this J2 project 4 years ago, and the city went to J2 and said, do not take our input, and I have proof. I have emails where they're saying, the city does not want us talking to you. So, and we handed our petition years ago. What we need to do is make the street looks like it did. Look how old Tombstone looks. Get it? Right. And all we have to do is promote the great things we have, the best weather, the airport museum. The Last Supper Museum, there's one in the world. We're open 6 days a week. And one of the toughest obstacles we've had is explaining to the city employees what it takes to have an organization or a business down here. We don't promote what we have. How many of you have I showed to the Day in Douglas thing? We don't promote the Day in Douglas thing. We have a day of free stuff. We have Agua Prieta and we have great local restaurants. We could have been promoting that years ago. And we have the evidence of suggesting all these things. Your research is not correct, sir. And you've never come into our museum and sat down and said, hey, I'd like to talk to you about streetscape. Have a good night.
Thank you, Mr. Braverman.
Thank you, Ida.
Mr. Schumacher. Schumacher.
No, right. I haven't had the pleasure to meet a lot of you guys, and I know that my contact information is posted on a couple of our buildings. Been coming here since I was 12, just so you know that I grew up in Illinois as a little kid, but our vacations were always to Arizona. The mining towns, my dad had a passion for that. And what we're seeing right now is Douglas in such a state of disrepair. I had a amazing to speak because she's called it. She's called it over and over and over for years. We've been trying to do our best to watch what's going on through YouTube. We're not only investors, we're also residents. We have a ranch outside of town. We have a residence on top of one of our properties here down on G. We have 4 properties on G. Not once were we approached. Not once were we searched out. Not once did anybody come to us and say, hey, what would you like to see? What's your plans? What is your experience? Why are you investing here? Why did you choose to have a part-time residence here? Nothing. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Jose, kind of midstream when we started coming into town and actually putting our money here, we had a belief in you and others, and we still do. That's not going away. When big investors come, they're going to push you guys around and make things happen, whether you want them to or not. But currently what we see is, I love to see that what's in your heart matters, but what matters more, with all due respect, is what's in our hearts as property owners and business people. With all due respect, and I know you grew up here, so you got a little more seniority than I do on Douglas, but just as all you guys probably do, as far as being a resident. But when you come to a town like Douglas, that has such rich history, the people that have stepped foot and stayed in the Gadsden and helped build this town. These modern versions of the streetscapes are garbage. They're trash. There's nothing respectable about them. We need to embrace what we have as a history in Douglas. That's why I'm here. That's why my girlfriend, Chrissy, is here. She was born here in Arizona. There's not a lot of you guys around. I wasn't born here, but with all due respect, and I understand the budget and the timeline and all of that, but we really need to talk. I have property in your district or your ward, and I have property in your ward. Welcome to the team. A couple of you guys, I guess. But I think there's probably a way to exercise and execute with the funding that's already been established in a limited scope, using those funds fully through that grant. But I think there's also a way to do it to where we can then do a stage 2 and a stage 3 to make sure that all the business people get their say. I've been a business person since I was 13 years old in Arizona. Never filed bankruptcy. I don't have any issues, and I'm going to continue to do it. And my heart's in Douglas. That's why we're so heavily vested here. But again, I'm not just an investor. I'm not a speculator. I've heard that term. We are also residents.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Look forward to meeting you guys.
Mrs. Tanya Duarte.
My name is Tanya Duarte. I live at 2001 9th Street here in Douglas. I had not planned on speaking here tonight. And I had told several people I wasn't going to speak tonight. But the way that I heard our council members speak to our constituents, our business owners, and the residents of Douglas, it was offensive. How dare you all speak to the people that way? You are here to represent us. You are not our parents. You are not the principal. You're not the boss. We are. And you guys are here to listen to us. And you need to respect what these business owners are going through. None of you have a business downtown. You don't have any skin in the game. It's really, really offensive for you to think that this plan won't hurt these people. It will. It absolutely will. And you all need to treat them with more respect. Thank you.
Ms. Diana Lamar.
Hello, Diana Lamar, 1303 F Avenue. I wasn't planning on speaking tonight at all, so forgive me for my disjointed comments, but I do appreciate the woman who just spoke. Because I've been sitting here feeling like you're not really listening to people. And no one is suggesting, at least I haven't heard anyone suggesting that we do nothing. I haven't heard anyone suggest that. But I have heard a real concern from people who are going to be significantly affected by these decisions. And I have to say, if the number of respondents for the streetscape was anything like some of the other surveys that have gone out, the city has not done its job, because you can't take 9, 11, 30 surveys or whatever it might have been in this case, I don't recall, and like put that in your hat and smoke it. You know, that's not a significant number of respondents. And so if you want to really know what people think, it has to be done in a different way. I know for myself and various people in the audience and in the community that do a lot of research, Mr. Acosta, really a lot. I know, in fact, more at times, not speaking to any of you directly, but in the past, I know for a fact that people in the community have done more research on subjects that come up than our council persons. Because when we have gone to speak to somebody outside of a council meeting, they really do not seem informed. Again, I'm not speaking about you personally, but you know, folks that come up here, as far as I know, have really put time in. They really have. So I just want to say, take this into consideration. I haven't heard anybody brainstorming about how can we, you know, address some of these concerns, but not, you know, throw the baby out with the bathwater. I haven't heard anybody doing any creative thinking. And that's been an issue I've had, you know, in the past as well. So,
time.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Steve Helf.
Stephen Helfrich, 1303 F Avenue. My company's Studio Architecture. I came down here 6 years ago. I bought the slab, which is on G Avenue, just north of Divorce. I bought a hotel on F and 13th. I put my money where my mouth was. I spent almost, well, between Diana Lamar and I, between $300,000 and $400,000 on rehabbing our building. We have 90% of that. 95% of that was local at B&D, Payless, and Ortiz. I bought what I thought was relatively inferior products at a higher price, but I bought that because I thought it was important to be local. Once again, I tell you, I have 30 to 40 years at small business running an architecture office and analyzing the urban streetscape and historical renovations of buildings. And I told you spent what, 80,000 on J2 plus another 70,000 on J2, 150,000. And then you spent another 375,000 on the construction documents. And we told you that at the end of the J2 bid, when they were finished, that we had a problem with the streetscape. And you didn't listen. And then you went ahead and did construction documents. And I have asked the city for a hard copy of the construction documents since the middle of December, and I still haven't got a copy of it. Read your contract. I can guarantee you that in the architectural contract, there is a provision that they are going to require you, are required to give you a set of full printed out working documents in their construction contract. So I would like to look at the construction documents so I can figure out what they have on paper and what's going to get built. And then I can come back and educate you on what exactly they're talking about. And beyond that, I've walked these streets for 6 years now. I've walked your alleys. I've walked all over. I've ridden my bike over. I've talked to people. I know for now, I wasn't ready six years ago, but I'm ready now. You know, the first thing you do is don't take the curb and gutter out. You start there, you move the trees into the street. You don't necessarily widen the sidewalks. Thank you very much.
Since Mr. Halbrook said he asked for documentation, if we can get it to him, we'd appreciate that. Sorry about that. The last speaker, Renee Lopez.
Hey, everybody. All right, so I'm not here as an investor, as a business owner, nothing. Yeah, sure. My name's Rene. I'm just somebody who lives in Douglas, right? So about 3 years ago or whatever it was, I participated in the survey. You know, I picked out, whichever little things I liked most and this and that. And I was kind of excited about it, right? I was excited about it. I lived at the time in Litchfield Park. And in Litchfield Park, Arizona, it's a small town within a big area, right? And they've been making a lot of headway as far as pedestrianization, as far as road diets, getting rid of parking spaces, narrowing streets. And people hate it, right? Until it starts working. So the only reason I'm up here is just to kind of give my opinion on that, to say that I do support what you guys are saying. I support the project. And at the same time, I completely agree with people like Ms. Pedro. They have skin in the game. I don't know how overlooked they were or they weren't. That's for them to tell you, and I'm sure they've been vocal about it now. What I do have to say about that is I think it's worth a shot, because whatever's been going on for the past 20, 30 years in Douglas, it's not working, right? It's like yourself, you're pretty new to the community, so you didn't get to see it, kind of at its apex. Right? Oh, that's great. And so you remember people just walking all over the place, and it was great. And that's been gone for a while. So how long are we gonna kind of keep pushing back any kind of real attempts to revitalize anything, right? I don't agree 100% with J2's plan, right? I agree with more of a historical looking area, but I guess that's neither here nor there at this point. There's things that we can learn a lot from our neighbors in Bisbee. I work for the city of Bisbee, so I get to see the way that city functions every day. And they do a lot of things right. I understand we're not Bisbee, but, to everybody here, I'm sure that's a pretty lofty goal when we see the way that Bisbee is constantly, bringing in people. That's kind of what we want here too, right? Right, exactly. And you look at any downtown in the Phoenix metro area, whether it's Litchfield Park or Tempe or Glendale has a beautiful downtown area. All of these places look like Douglas used to look, right? So let's make Douglas look kind of like it used to look at least. And again, all I wanted to say is to Ms. Betherwell, even though I disagree with some of your points, I agree with the passion you guys put forward. I would like to see that interconnection between what you guys are seeing and what they've seen. Like she mentioned earlier, some of us are just uninformed constituents and some of you guys are experts, right? And so, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say. I support what you guys are doing. I can't wait till it gets fixed up and best of luck to everybody else.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. So after all this, I'm going to direct staff.
Mayor, can
Mhm.
I have a last comment, please?
If you could make it as general as you can,
Yes,
because then,
it's
okay.
brief. So I first want to apologize if anybody was offended by what I said. But when I'm questioned about what I do in my personal time, I don't think that's okay. So I do apologize for any comments that may have, offended anybody, but was not the intention. It's just what I do in my personal time is my business. Thank you.
So after all this, I'd like to satisfy the petition in the sense of whether you want to call it an expo, carnival, fair. I think we need to have an informational type of event for the downtown revitalization as a whole, not just the streetscape, because no offense, if we move with the streetscape and then there's another aspect, I'd rather not have another petition come in. So not that this wasn't fun, but sort of like it's way too long, sorry. But sort of like an information expo carnival fair. That way the constituents can go, staff can explain, and then we could get your feedback. And then whatever time it is, whether it's during the day, whether it's during the evening, whatever time it accommodates our constituents the most, I think council should be there. And that's the only way, because we have a duty to listen to the people. I'm not going to let the city manager speak on this, but I'll let her present it during her report so it doesn't go back. Is that okay? Item 12, city manager reports.
Can I just clarify the direction, Mayor? Is that
To have an
do we need,
informational,
does that need a vote? You didn't vote on acknowledging you have a motion and a.
no, Dennis said it could be just.
No, I think the city can take direction from the council. If council would like an informational session, if that's the direction of council, is that what I'm hearing?
I think what I'm hearing though is an informational session on downtown revitalization, but I thought you needed a vote to acknowledge receipt of the petition. This isn't.
Do we need to vote on acknowledging the petition, Dennis?
I thought you have a motion, don't you, Alma?
Yes.
No.
There's a motion. I thought you had a motion. No? Oh, okay.
Do we need a vote, Dennis, or no?
I mean, Article 2, Section 19 talks about such petition shall be considered an action taken thereon by the council. So we have acknowledged it. If the direction of council is to have an informational section, I think staff can take that, and I think that if that's the direction of council.
Informational session on downtown revitalization.
Dennis, so we don't need an acknowledgement of the petition. accepting the petition.
Well, I think it was on the agenda. I mean, if
Yes,
council,
it is.
I mean, we put it on the agenda. The charter talks about that shall be considered, which I think everybody's doing tonight. And then I've heard action would be having an informational session. I think that seems to be the consensus of council. Is there any question about that?
Hearing none. Item 12, city manager reports. Mrs. Urquijo.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. I'll be brief on my general items. We have a small business development center offering a business 101 workshop on learning the building blocks of business success using the business model canvas. That's scheduled for March 17th, 2 p.m. Cochise College. You can find information on our website. Also, Arizona Apex Accelerator and SBDC will be hosting a workshop for laying the groundwork for government contracting. This is scheduled for next week on February 19th at Cochise College, SBDC in Sierra Vista at 9:30. Aquatic Center is ready to reopen after the winter break that they take for maintenance and upkeep. During that temporary closure, we did complete preventive maintenance on our pump room, small facility projects, and started the construction of the men's shower room. Please note that improvements to the men's restrooms will continue through March, but restrooms will remain open. However, the showers will be temporarily unavailable through that completion. Please plan ahead to reach out to our rec coordinator, aquatics coordinator if you need an accommodation. On our connector road, as the mayor mentioned, we have full funding for the connector road for the commercial port of entry, but met by the $20 million CDS award to ADOT last week. We're a huge partner and we've all been supporting that together along with Cochise County, and the shout out again to our congressional delegation for their broad support, especially Senators Kelly and Gallego. Our utility corridor funding continues to be our critical infrastructure project now needing to complete funding as well. Similar efforts are underway to fulfill the $30 million shortfall through various means. We've already gained $19 million for that project, and that's the portion for the utility corridor for water, sewer, and broadband conduit west of town to meet the needs of the commercial port of entry and through Cochise College, using college as a support as a water campus. We just finished 14 solar streetlights in the Quail Run area. Crews are scheduled to install also street name signs, and we'll be sweeping all of those streets next week. Work continues on the asphalt plant. This is a giant plant, and with it comes the tall lift. So we're working on concrete footing still, and we are working to keep that plant on schedule. As the mayor mentioned, the electrical panel does have a rush on it by APS and is scheduled for a May installation. We do have a new generator at well 17, which is located near our Public Works barn on Sulphur Springs Road. That generator has been installed so that the well continues to deliver water during downtimes or power outages. This is part of our strategy to address our vulnerabilities in our water distribution area. As mentioned, Boys and Girls Club ribbon cutting has been moved to March. We don't have a definite date in March, and that's to be determined and will be relayed to the community. There was a question on community center funding, and where we are on that is we're seeking our funding or allocating funding for an additional $83,000 to get design concepts and plans done for their portion of the expansion. And then after that, we continue to find funding for the community center portion. So that is something we continue to work towards. And although we do have a temporary place for them, there's possibility for expansion of still temporary space, but we are working with them on various efforts. They all are also working with Cox with their Innovation Lab. And Cox will be celebrating also a ribbon cutting of that Innovation Lab as a separate event, and we are also awaiting a date for that. Our development services have, they've hired a new building compliance specialist, Alejandra Machado, and we've done some reorganizing internally to reassign building, what we call reclassifications, to building compliance specialists. So we have Luis Peralta and Alejandra working cross-functionally on building compliance, one more involved in the plan review and other on building inspection, but still working on being cross-functional to support each other in those areas. We continue to work with Cochise County Development Services. They do assist with our planning efforts, mentoring, and backup inspection. As mentioned, our futures meeting is now scheduled for 2/25 to kick off our budget cycle. As confirmed, painting has been done at Boys and Girls Club. We do have the playwright tickets for the Raul Castro playwright tomorrow at 5:30 available using the Eventbrite app. And the reason that's important is that's how we're using the lottery for giving away those 114 free books. So go onto your Eventbrite app. It is a free event. You really don't need a ticket to come in, but I just wanted to make you all aware that getting that ticket reserves also that that free book from our author that will be there as well. And so I don't have a report specifically on Streetscape because you said you would take that, Mayor, but there's so much on the website on the efforts. There's a few clarifications to be made along the way. There were 3 designs that, so I came in, I didn't do any more feasibility studies. I came in after J2 had been selected. Streetscapes go back to a 2008 first designed by U of A students. There was no funding for that. It sat on a shelf. Same thing. Finally, there was some money put out, 2011. There was a streetscape study done. Those are those feasibility studies. No funding for that. It sat on the shelf. Through Jareen Watson and Mayor Uribe, the 2011 was dusted off. Mayor Uribe gathered a group, including Cochise County Planning kind of led the effort. There was community input. They dusted that off. They recreated the streetscape and approved it by resolution. Then Jareen hired, through mayor and council at the time, hired J2 to develop those preliminary concepts. When I arrived a year later, preliminary concepts were starting to be entertained through different means, public meetings and survey tools, and everything I'm talking about is on the website. I carried that torch forward and I started looking for the funding because we had gone through so many sitting on the shelf, didn't want another one to do that. We started hitting some of our big grants. In 2023, we were awarded $2.9 million for the project that had already been approved and was in preliminary concepts. The city put aside an additional $1.3 million. And as soon as the funding award was confirmed, I took mayor and council back to a retreat and said, this is everything you've heard. This is everything you've heard on trees. This is what you've heard on lights. This is what you've heard on sidewalk length, bump outs. Everything was separated and they took everything individually. And with all of that and all of the work that had been done, J2 incorporated all of the necessary public input. We did struggle. We would send out some surveys. We sent them out again. We did different things that were required through the public process. And every comment to that point that was on social media, we put it, memorialized it into a Word document or PDF document. And all of that is on the website. So they looked at everything. They looked at the good comments, the bad comments, the concerned comments, the passion from the community. they developed through that process of breaking everything down, that what we call hybrid plan. J2 took those comments back on what they had consensus on doing, and J2 continued to guide the ADA compliance. They didn't want to do the extended sidewalks anymore to the extent that some of the designs had because of the concerns. But because when you touch a sidewalk and it's not ADA compliant, we also heard that the curbs were too high, and we were trying to deal with ADA parking as well. Once you touch and improve something, you don't have a choice but to make it ADA compliant. So they stretched it out by the amount they needed to do that. It's no longer a 24-foot sidewalk or a 20-foot sidewalk. It's going from 13 to 17. They came up with that as a result of all of the efforts that they pulled in from so many different documentation from the community, because now we had money, we had funding, and it's taken this long. It then had to go not to feasibility studies, it had to go to engineering design. It had to go to 30%, these are all engineering terms, 60%, 90%, and it finally got to 100%, where it's now, we have the ability to bid it out for a contractor. Every portion of those bid requests have called for working with, when they finally get here, to work with the merchants, especially in that 3-block area, to make sure that they give them a time frame. They had told us that it's going to be minimal time on the sidewalk portion. They're working primarily, this phase of streetscape is infrastructure, new electrical, irrigation, conduit for awesome Wi-Fi in the downtown area. This isn't the aesthetics part. We still need to work on the benches and the landscaping and the colors and all of that, where you will continue to get information for. This was the preliminary engineering design, and that portion addresses the storm drainage and the height of the curbs so that we can accommodate and finally gain ADA compliance. We have a couple of others. We do know that it took, over a year to get from 30, 60, 90 to 100. And we knew with inflation, we were worried about our $3.9 million budget. We're still worried, but it's still a viable project. It's because they were conservative figures, and we just have to cast the net out and see where that comes back. But we have a viable project. It was approved by council. I do have the authority to move that project forward with everything that has been established up to that point. May of 24 is when it was authorized. What comes back at this point after the next bidding cycle is hopefully an award. And all of that revitalization that I'm hearing for information session, I think it is important because you can see the streetscape as it's currently approved to move forward, and you get to see what we're doing on historic preservation, what we have underway for environmental cleanup of buildings, what we have as initial concepts for tax incentive programs for property owners. There is a lot more. We adopted Title 18 2.5 years ago to become a credentialed city to receive awards and grants for historic preservation. But we were delayed because of our administration change. And we had that Office of Historic Preservation kind of lose its foundational federal agency. So we're kind of back on track, trying to get that credential so that we can become eligible. We're working with SEGO, our COG, to get more funding because we anticipated we might have some gaps. We are on a state legislative cycle for additional funding for streetscape, but let me remind you, we also are recipients of $23.5 million for commercial road resurfacing. That also includes G Avenue, 10th Street. There's 9 corridors in the community, and we have to get these things going. I just received an email early this week from HUD, which is the granting agency for the $2.9 million, that states, where are we? We need to get moving on this. Our lobbyists at the federal level are cautiously looking at that because you have 3 years to use those, is based on their guidance from the point you start drawing on it. We haven't started drawing because we're still trying to get through the bidding portion, but I don't expect that this 3-block section is going to take that long, but we are working with the granting agency to try and deliver. So I'm just giving it to you from the factual perspective. I so respect all the comments. I'm a native here as well. I grew up walking G Avenue every afternoon because my parents had a TV shop, and I went to the Arizona Drug for my chocolate Coke. It's now a museum. I went into Douglas Drug for my French fries with my friends after school, and now it's a tattoo shop. You know, all of us have so much to remember, but this is the direction from a 2008 study by students, and then the firms that were brought in 2011, and then dusted off again in 2019, I believe that was, with Mayor Uribe. And it's the baton I'm pushing forward with all of the public input, with everything that was previously heard, and everything has been on there. We sat here in this room for public meetings. We send invitations. We'd get some stragglers come in, so we'd go back out, and we did visits to the 3 blocks in person and have interviews. All of those interview answers and transcripts are also on the website. Council has seen all of that. They're well informed on the process from the very beginning. This is not a project that I'm suggesting, that I'm making recommendations for. I've just moved the baton to give them everything they need to make their decision, and how council came up with hybrid. That I wanted to clarify that because I think it was mentioned earlier a little different on how they chose that final one. So, you know, very passionate discussion. And I respect every comment made. And we, you know, that's why I wanted to clarify that it's an informational session. But we have, from, you know, everything that I've heard here, a viable project, and it's at the bidding stage at this point. And I'm always open to visit with anyone that has questions. But unless there's, you know, anything else, Mayor and Council, that is my report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 15, future agenda item request from mayor and council. Do we have any? Just that one. Just that one on the county supervisor, if we could put it in. And if we get lucky enough to have state reports every month, then we'll add them too. So hopefully. Item number 14, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Mayor,
Mrs. Rodriguez.
I move to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Rodriguez, second by Mr. Montaño. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have it. We adjourn at 8:18.